Hey, this is John from mtgotavern. We're back with our third stream with some Esper control in Modern. This time trying out the latest 5.0 list. This list is a little bit different than the ones we've been running. A few less planeswalkers. It's very heavy on cryptic commands. Also has Esper charms in the deck again. I believe it's Shaved a Fatal Push. What changes does it make? Cut down on planeswalkers some. Has a second Supreme Verdict. Shaved a Fatal Push. Beyond that, looks relatively the same in the main deck. You've got full 4 Cryptic Command, 4/4 Snapcaster Mage. I've been really down on Cryptic Command in the leagues and games we've played so far. We'll keep a close eye on how Cryptic performs, but really, the walkers and things with the Cryptic commands don't seem to play the same strategy. So that's something to keep an eye on. Sideboard, a little bit different setup this time. 2 Ashioks as kind of your graveyard hate as opposed to like Surgicals and such. 2 Unmortigos for combo based decks or Tron, that kind of stuff. Anything that's centered around one key card. This card can be really crucial against Dovin's Veto when your negates are necessary. Thoughtseize have come in quite a bit in our previous leagues. Ceremonious Rejection, we really haven't faced a lot of Tron and such, but having a hate card for those decks is kind of nice. Vendilion Click, we've been bringing in the 2 copies a lot. We'll see how if we notice missing that. They're down to 1. Celestial Purge has a lot of targets. Stony Silence. Really haven't played against a lot of artifact decks while we've been playing Esper, but I have seen some while playing Burn, so that's something to keep in mind. And then obviously Timely Reinforcements. Pretty good against the other aggro decks and as well as Burn, which might be on a slight uptick given the new stuff going on. So, gonna hop into some 2-man queues here. I'm still not 100% sold on things. We had so it hasn't list quite frankly hasn't been performing well. I don't know if that's just me missequencing things or what's going on exactly, but Esper has kind of been struggling to get off the ground. I think we've got 1 match win in the 9 or 10 matches we've played. I've been experimenting on my other channel, Standard Nexus MTG, with some standard Esper Super Friends, trying to get that archetype down. So, in case we decide we want to go a different route, we can. It's kind of a little light on lands, but we have Opt plus. If we hit our 3rd land drop, Esper Charm. Don't have any early interaction, so we're just going to play this and pass. Probably fetch a Watery Grave, depending on what our opponent's doing. Way we have access to 2 of our 3 colors of mana. I'm going to go ahead and shock this in and do it. If our opponent wants to do a Spell Pierce or something, I think I'm okay with that exchange. Really wanted a 3rd land drop there. Yeah, is this particular list running? 24. Oh, so this one's cut a land. I don't know if I like that. Heartless Summoning. So we should actually have been in pretty good shape if we wouldn't have missed a land drop, but we did, so there we are. Still trying to hit land drops here. Game's basically over at this point. We'll wait and see what our opponent's got over there. Yep. This is a deck we should be able to easily beat. I don't know that Unmoored Ego is necessarily a route we want to go. Bring in these, bring in those, bring in these. Though the Vitas aren't great in the matchup, Fatal Pushes are kind of garbage against a deck that's trying to cast giant monsters. Logic Knot's okay-ish. Spell Bombs don't really do a whole lot. Other than Cantrip, yeah, I'm not liking the 24 lands right off the bat. I think last time I said we should go maybe even to 26, so. And that was with Serum Visions in the deck, which I think Serum Visions is obviously a slightly better cantrip than Opt in particular. Sand's okay, but doesn't have any of the interaction we truly want, so. Should have opted at the end of the last turn, that was definitely a mistake. Yeah, that's fine. Don't particularly care about that. Purge is a nice one for not having a counterspell for Heartless Summoning. Okay, I didn't see that one coming. That's annoying, because it gets to choose it before it happens. Take what? Teferi and cast down? I guess from now on, just kill all their crap. Losing that to Fairy and Snapcaster Mage really hurt. Yep. Your motley crew of garbage continues to beat down your control deck. Not a good sign. Not a good sign. Looks like they're trying to hit us with a Elder Deep Fiend here. Alright, that's it for match number 1. Losing to Blue-Black Heartless Summoning. This has been John for MTG Nexus. Here we are, back for game number 2 in this set. Once again, guess we gotta keep his hand, but not like in the 24 land setup. Pass. Possibly infect. Not sure what they're trying to do with the archbow, but okay. I think we path this Snapcaster Opt. This is setting up the archbow for later on. Do still have Cryptic Command to potentially deal with it at least. Sounds like the new little guy is driving my maternal unit nuts. Recently got a new collie, 2-year-old collie, and he is full of energy compared to the rest of our crew, who is a little bit older set of dogs. So it's hard to set up pass on path, but not really what we're looking for here. interesting to see what they get off this. Back some of these lands. So for now, fortunately the bow is going to get to resolve again, which is supremely annoying. Is there some type of green-white value town with bow? Yeah, I don't necessarily care about Bugler here. Alright, Supreme Verdict's not a terrible one here. So, for now, put back Snap and Strand. Go in Verdict. It's actually supremely relevant, which is annoying. I gotta decide which card to keep in. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be the bow. So there's some type of, yeah. Presuming we'll just wait until they're... Alright, so now I have absolutely no reason to... Getting moves. Go ahead and snap back an Esper charm, draw some cards. Back. Like that. Start getting this game over with. Probably should have attacked with Creeping Tar Pit though to get this game over with a little bit more quickly. The big problem for our opponent is they're only JK. Nope. In the end, my friend, I just need you out of the way to kill you, so... Continue drawing cards. Forcing them to discard one of the two cards in hand isn't really relevant. To my knowledge, Post-Mortem Lunge is a sorcery, so they can't do this during my turn. This Verdict's a nice little... Another Jace. Teferi is not terrible here. Put back these lands, use this. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think I have more than enough mana to do it. Black, that. See what you got. basics are you operating with? Go ahead and tuck this. You're just operating with a Field of Ruin and a Devoted Druid. Your last card in hand was a Devoted Druid. What the heck? Sure, your collected company was garbage anyway, so. Back one Logic Knot, and that. Fetch away, even though it doesn't get. Oh, guess we do have an island in our deck. Go ahead and attack with Snapcaster Mage here, because this is probably just going to be. Yep, a free X amount of damage. Do the Supreme Verdict thing. Tap some lands. Pass turn, and we should be golden here. Yeah, can't allow this one to resolve. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Game's pretty well over here, friend, but if you wish to continue playing Magic, we can continue playing Magic, I guess. Yeah, that can go to the bottom. Nope. It's another card that just ain't gonna resolve. Oh, that's all it took for you to concede? Nice. Alright, so some style of Devoted Druid. Little Archbow combos rather kind of annoying. Yeah, guess it's standard tech now. Sideboard, anything coming in. Send collectors. Eidolon of Rhetoric, maybe some other random nonsense. But Click seems alright. Purges doesn't really seem to kill anything of worth note. Timely might be okay against their beatdown plan a little bit, so potentially bring that in. The Dovin's Vetoes, there aren't a ton of things to counter in their deck, but the things that there are to counter are relevant. Ashiok seems pretty reasonable, at least as a one of maybe. Like Thoughtseize seems reasonable, but they are a creature deck at its heart. So, don't know there's too many cards in our main deck we actually don't want to see. Maybe shave one Cryptic Command and one that, try it like this. See, these are the kind of decks that I think we do want to be playing against, so... Don't know that we can keep this hand. This hand has a lot of counter spells. Counter spells aren't great in this matchup. They're reasonable, but not great. Do you have an answer to Devoted Druid? I do not. I still do not. So, am I dead? Need to draw a step, click them, and pray to the Lord Almighty that they don't have a collected company. Looks like they're just casting Knight. I don't think I'm blocking this turn, so I may as well just go ahead and do the beatdown thing. Yep. Probably still should have continued to attack there. Do this thing. Opponent could have a collected company here, which would kind of suck. Apparently they just have nothing. Confirmed, they have nothing. Jukabog, sure. Kill that. So that should about lock up the game. So even if they had Quarter Calling here, which is what I think they were trying to put in my head, come on, friend, what you got? Definitely uncord in hand. What would you cord for 4 for? Fofo. Don't really care about Vizier per se. Yeah, double snappy just about wraps this shindig up. Alright, well, that was a pretty manageable win for us. Kind of finally playing against the kind of decks that we want to play against. So, go ahead and give it one more match with this list before we kind of call it a wrap on this video. Back for our third match with Esper, with this particular version of Esper. A couple Esper charms in the list. Kind of an awkward hand, no early interaction. Think we keep it, but hopefully this is not a control mirror. This looks like it may just be blue-white hate bears. See, this deck's going to be supremely annoying to play against. Jiminy Buffets, that's annoying. Either way, if you have Spellquiller, we're dead here. Yep, nothing to attack there. Nope. We're gonna get to make a 1/1 at the end of turn, which is mildly annoying. Yep. Ghost of St. Trash. So what is even our game plan here? Like we're flat out just dead to the flyers here. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hope to Teferi and get lucky. Find out a little bit more about their deck with Esper Charm. Alright, so there's some type of blue-white taxing mid-range nonsense. Alright, so click comes in. It's okay on the play to bring in Thought Seizes. Timely Reinforcements. Spellbomb's relevant against their stuff, but I think bringing in the 2 Ashioks takes care of that better. They probably have some Lean and Arbiter nonsense in their deck. This is where missing that extra piece of spot removal kind of sucks. And this hand has interaction, it's just low on lands, which could be a problem. Yeah, the yield, I have a Spell Queller in my hand and I don't really want to play it. Sure. Let's do this main phase because they might have a spell queller. Instead, they have spell pierce. Like, I don't know what the rest of their hand is, but it's all counter spells? So there's some type of amalgamation of blue-white spirits, it looks like. It was a little bit rough. Alright, so I'll be back in a bit with my thoughts on Esper going forward here. This has been John for MTG Nexus. So, we're back here for the wrap-up on our third video here with Esper Control. So I'm starting to get a feel for the kinds of stuff I like, the kinds of stuff I don't like in the deck. The things I do like is I do like the spread of Path to Exile, Fatal Push. In both versions we saw quite a bit having the spread here. I don't know if the right number is 3 and 3, 4 and 3 of 1. One of cast down's pretty sweet to be able to catch random things like Eldrazi and such if they try to lock you out with certain cards like Chalice on 1. I think I prefer Serum Visions over Opt, but there certainly is some consideration when playing with Snapcaster Mages. The one thing I've noticed is 25 lands, I think, is the minimum. Um, 2 Supreme Verdicts is the minimum. Kaya can go 3 or 4 Narset, I think, is a good starting point. Beyond that, 2 Jace, 2 Teferi. I don't think I like Baby Tef in the main. 2 Supreme Verdicts minimum. And then fit in however many Cryptic Commands, Logic Knots, Dovin's Vetoes you can. I do like the 4/1 mana cantrips, probably Serum Visions, but I think that's the good starting point. And then from there, kind of flush out the sideboard with the kind of cards you want to beat whatever matchup. Definitely need to play more matches with the deck, but that's kind of where my baseline thought is. There's a couple of extreme versions we can consider. I'm working on learning Esper Heroes in Standard to see if I can port it to Modern, because I did play a match against a 4-color Super Friends Nicol Bolas deck that was quite interesting. Just the ability of Baby Tef to lock down the ability to play at instant speed means your Planeswalkers are a little bit safer. I've not been a huge fan of Cryptic Command in these decks. I think that fact is continued. I think playing heavy Cryptic Command, heavy Walker builds just don't jive well. One thought process is to play like a Snapcaster, Vendilion Click Geist version with some of the 3-mana walkers and Cryptic Commands as kind of the top end. Maybe shave on some of the Jaces and the big Teferis. Another direction we can go in is to continue playing the version we've been playing, just kind of shuffling numbers around a little bit until we find the build we like. Beyond that, let me know in the comments what you think is the best direction to go. We haven't had a ton of success, but I think a lot of it's just like there's been a lot of little things like missing land drops, or having to keep hands that are all like the mana's not kind of there, that kind of stuff. So, like, once this deck gets rolling, it's really good in the mid to late game, but I think we've had a lot of stumbles with early mana, early missing land drops, early not having spot removal against creature decks, not having counter spells against the mid-range decks. So, been a lot of like little trip ups here and there, and these decks don't really have a lot of margin for error. So maybe it's I'm not identifying the hands I should be keeping correctly. Maybe it's just Magic Online shufflers. Maybe it's the builds of the deck that we're playing and the decks we're playing against. But definitely a lot more massaging of numbers and a lot more analyzing needs to go in this. But anyways, this has been John for MTG Nexus. Let me know what you think.